music.
Oh, like
and,
Jennifer Lopez,
Well,
So
she's not really in today's. I'm not. She's
Katy
still.
Perry.
So wait,
she's
your
not
friend.
She's a little too old for him, I think.
So your friend Dave.
No, she's younger.
Yeah, he had a
but
fun
for
time.
him,
So
he might
you
be
like
too
the
old.
younger ones.
Like Ariana Grande.
I don't know who they are.
Papa doesn't.
So he had a fun time.
Wow.
I like to
How
talk
Oh,
old
he
is
had
he?
quite a life.
How long
If
is
you
he?
can believe everything he says.
Do you believe everything he says?
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, you might want to take some of it with a grain of salt.
I don't know.
Sometimes people
Sounds
really
plausible.
do live great lives.
Everything he says is plausible.
It's
And he
sometimes-
reads an awful lot.
He what? Reads?
You might have seen him out there coming in. He was sitting in
Yeah, he goes on the computer a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
I see him.
the computer room.
Dad, your nose is dripping.
What?
Wipe your nose.
It's not dripping.
I see it dripping.
Well, that's tough
Please
luck.
drip it. Please wipe it.
So we did
Oh,
we
it's
see him
lovely.
downstairs?
I didn't see him.
That's such a wonderful.
He's
yeah,
about 6'2".
yeah, he seems pretty tall, even though he's in a
Yeah,
wheelchair.
But
He's a big guy.
It
Yeah, they-
seems odd to me that if it's just not that it's just, but that he can't walk would cause him to have to be here from now on.
He needs the therapy, or he needs
Well-
monitored support.
When you got to be in a wheelchair, you can't do anything for yourself. He needs help to go to the toilet.
It's probably cheaper
Okay.
here because if he goes to like a hospital for them to
Right.
do it.
Oh,
So if he has all
hospitalism.
those-
Can't go to a hospital
If
for
he has
this.
all those millions, I'd
That's why they have these homes now.
want
Yeah.
to stay home. Wouldn't you want to get your own aid?
Nah, I bet
Maybe
he.
his house it wasn't.
Well, he spent a lot of money already.
Oh, so
Taking care of
He spent
himself.
well over $1 million.
Taking care of himself.
Yeah.
and having
I
fun.
think he inherited $2 million.
Oh, that's not a lot.
Oh, that's.
No, I mean it's a lot, but like I was expecting like 10 million or 12
$2
million.
million is still enough to inherit.
Well, you can go right through
This
that.
happened within the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can go right
Yeah,
through
you
that.
can go through that.
Yeah, if you're not responsible. With
Well,
it.
today you could, yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Well-
spent we spent like $100 on food yesterday when we went to Stop and Shop.
No, no,
What do you want?
I wanted a cracker.
no.
What do you want?
A cracker.
He doesn't need
Oh,
any
open it.
crackers.
That's all right.
You don't
I
need
can't
any
eat 'em all.
grease.
All right, I don't need any grease.
Wait,
I'm
wait.
gonna get his-
Yeah, we went to Stop and Shop yesterday and we spent like $165 on food.
All right.
It's
I'll be right
crazy
back
inflation.
Where you going?
to get something to drink.
All right, bye. Love you both.
Love you.
Hey,
So-
if you got any tangerines down there, bring them up.
Yeah, so we spend so like inflation is absolutely ridiculous.
Are you telling me?
Yeah, it's
But not nearly as bad as when what's his name was president.
don't forget your
was.
phone.
You know what the interest rate you could get on a CD?
Say again?
When what's his name? Jimmy Carter was president.
Yeah. What about him?
21% interest.
Oh wow! And bonds.
On
What
a
about that?
CD.
What about bonds?
Same thing.
Wow. I just can't believe how bad it's gotten. It's just like it's
Well,
even before
It's
Trump.
not that bad.
I think like it was like during Obama. It was like
If they don't
$2.
get it under control, it's gonna be very bad.
But like here's the problem, and
But
here,
interest rates are tending now to be going down.
and here's the
inflation.
problem. Like you know the main problem, right? So if we go back to 1990, there's a statistic done at Hofstra University where they took a bunch of statistics based on people's bank accounts, and it's discovered that since 1990 to 2022, that 80 million immigrants have come into the United States
That's
between
the
30
problem.
years. And it was, at the time, it was
That's
two-
having a big effect on
it was
inflation.
280 million, or 260 million in 1990, and
What, population?
yes, of Americans, and now it's
200. I thought we were over 300.
but now we are 330 million.
yeah.
So that was an 80 million increase of non-natural population, and they said between 1950 to 1990, the same 30-year span, we only
Wow.
gained 20 million people. And I think a lot of this really is not just because
Well,
we're getting
what was the span from 19 when you had 20?
to 1950 to 1990. It was about 240 million in 1950.
Yeah.
To 1990, it was then 260. So it's like a 20 million increase in 30 years versus today. It's an 80 million increase.
Well,
And-
population was a lot less too then.
Yeah, so my point is, I think a lot of it is not just for the fact that it's the people are coming in, but a lot of adults, not just babies. I mean,
You know why
babies.
they're coming in? Because they can get jobs here.
Yes, and I like, I don't want to be a Nazi and say this, but I think we got to sweep them out. I think
No, you can't say that at blanket.
not.
They have to put limits.
Yeah, limits like
You don't mean to kick them all out. You mean you got to put limits on
Yes.
and take the people who are qualified to come in here.
yes, and I wonder, like, I see all these people.
Well, that's the way it used to be.
Yeah, and I when I worked at Dollar
But the
Tree.
Democrats started something, and now they've gone too far left
Yes,
because they want the votes.
yes, exactly. They're paying them for votes, and no one sees that. And no one's stopping it.
You know. Well,
And then you got
we'll
Republicans.
see what happens the next election.
And then you got Trump happy Republicans. I mean, listen, I like Trump for what he did, but I mean, there's so many
Oh,
far
he's
right.
a bastard, though.
There's so many far right and there's so many far left. There's no longer a collaboration.
No, you're right. Joey, you're absolutely right. My sentiments exactly.
Like, you don't have a middle ground. You don't have people
Yeah.
being like, okay, either for abortion or against abortion, but you don't have that middle ground.
You would enjoy talking to Bob Bertini, my table mate.
A lot of people at my at Curry told me I should go into office.
Run for office?
Yeah, or at least run for governor or senator.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You got to get to be a legislator first.
I know, but like
At the state level.
yeah,
anyway.
I know. But like,
Well, my cousin ran for office for the Connecticut legislature,
yeah.
but she didn't win.
Why was that? Was she an independent?
Well, she was president of NAACP,
What's that?
National Association of Colored People.
Oh, yeah, I could
And she
see.
was a great worker for them.
They probably didn't like that.
Huh?
You think a lot of her voters didn't like that?
I don't know, but
When was
she had a
this?
lot of followers because of it.
Was it the
She
80s?
was,
Was this the 80s, 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Or-
she died at 96, I think.
Was she a Republican or Democrat?
Oh, she was a Democrat, I would think.
I imagine if it was in the 80s, no one liked it because Reagan was in office and everyone was
No, she
Republican.
wasn't- I don't think she was a Republican. We
Yeah.
were mostly Democrats.
Yeah, it used to be party of the people. Now everyone is saying Republicans are party of the people, but I'm like, no one is the party of the
Oh,
people
That's just
anymore.
oranges.
Oh, I wanted. Oh, they didn't have the. All
This
right.
is all they
They
had.
only had these.
Yeah. Okay.
They look like they have mold. But yeah, I find it so crazy that like no one's stopping any of
I'm
this.
glad you're interested in politics.
No one is anymore. It's just like
that's so not true.
no,
The
literally
world is very
everyone I go to at Curry, at
Oh,
least
at
my
Curry.
my
Yeah, wait a minute.
generation,
Let him talk.
my generation right now. I go on social media, I do all this stuff, and either the only time I see politics from my generation is when they say don't talk about politics. It's a very toxic thing, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
it can be toxic, but like you have to, or your country or your whole society
Well,
is
no,
going to
there's
fail.
nobody to talk to.
Yes, that too. No one
They're
wants.
so
no.
far removed from it, what's going on, or the cause of the present type
Yes.
of politics they're practicing.
That's true.
And no one is
Democrats
teaching.
won't give, the Republicans won't give.
I think that's where the problem stems.
Well, I think no one's teaching anyone any of this,
Well,
and
there's
no one
nobody
knows
to
where to
teach
begin.
them.
Yes, no
They
teacher.
died. They died with my generation or Betsy's generation.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They're still teaching political
No,
science.
in Cheshire High School.
Your generation is where it's really getting affected.
Yes, Cheshire High School has not talked about politics, and the only time we talk about politics is through history.
Well, did they offer political science as a class?
Nope, not a single one.
I
Not
had that in high school.
not in Cheshire High School. That was
Well,
not
we
even an
didn't
option.
talk about politics. You learned about
Yeah, we learned
politics.
About it.
Yes,
Talk
you
but
learned
we
about
didn't talk about candidates and stuff.
Correct.
The only things we
learned
talk about.
government
We just learned about
in
the
8th
government.
grade.
Yeah, we talked about like
Not sure.
Well, you
Washington.
talked about how to hold an election, why we have a legislature, why we have
Yes,
present form of government.
The-
You talk about all that, but you never talked about personality.
yes, and the only time we talked about politics, actually, there was one only time. I take that back. Was in 8th grade during the 2016 election when my teacher, Mr. Giacomo, decided to implement this website where everyone would go.
Did he get kicked out?
No. So she and this is something I never forget about her. She was in her 60s, but she first off, we had to go on this website where just we answered questions and it all we all were given our person that was in the primaries. I was given who was I given?
Stop shaking because I feel it over here.
I was given this white male who had gray hair, but this was before.
Politician?
Yeah, but this is before Trump
That
became the
doesn't quite limit
primary.
it.
I know, but like he had gray hair.
This was
There were 13
Yes.
candidates when Trump was running for office.
Yes, it was a white guy with.
And you were assigned one of them?
Well, no. We all the classmates went onto a website to answer a survey. The survey then provided us a person that we matched with, and I was given this guy, but he was a Democrat. In my views, if I redid that survey today, I guarantee I'd be given someone like Trump or someone different. But like, what I found interesting was the next day, or no, not the next day, months later, when Trump won, she came into the classroom wearing all black because she was depressed.
She was in mourning.
You know
Yes.
something that's very interesting?
No, wait.
I
let me
was working
finish.
in Dodd Middle School when this happened, and one of the teachers came into the lunchroom and said, "This is the worst day of my life."
When Trump won?
Yeah.
This shirt saves lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, but the teacher should not be so adamant on saying that this person is bad. Like, she should be teaching, not like giving her political view.
Wait a minute. Trump,
Laws. One.
when he
Yeah.
first started running and everything, he said a lot of good things for the country.
And a
what
lot
he
of
was
bad
gonna
things
do.
too.
Right.
No.
Right. They
were
were great
both.
things.
Great and bad.
But he
Mostly great.
He got associated with the wrong people in his cabinet. He never got. That's where he was stupid.
But
Yes,
I think
I agree.
Trump had those qualities in himself in order to align him
And he was
with
doing
those
great.
people.
Everything failed when COVID happened. I think
Yeah.
the country was at its greatest unemployment, its greatest gross unemployment. It's there was something about its oil where we literally had so much leftover oil that we were selling it to like
Well,
Russia
we were
and China.
fracking it.
We were doing great. It was.
Well, we were fracking oil then. That's what gave us.
What's fracking? Do you know
They
what
get it out
fracking
of
is?
shale.
What?
They
What?
get the oil out of shale.
Oh, did Biden stop that?
Oh, he shut down one of the
No,
biggest oil wells for some
uh,
reason.
Trump stopped it.
Why?
I don't know. I think it had something to do with Russia.
So my point is that when I go back to my teacher when she wore all
Or
black.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, when my teacher wore all black, she was. I just looked at this and I'm like, you shouldn't, as the teacher, should not be saying that Trump or Clinton were bad. You have to teach them who is and who's doing what. Not give your unbiased opinion, which would make the next generation think a certain way. You're supposed to teach them to think for themselves, not give them their choice immediately. I
You're
found-
100% correct.
And I was like looking at, and I thought about this in 8th grade. I was like, shouldn't you be telling us, first off, that Trump is bad and good, and Clinton is bad and good? Not being like, oh, Trump is bad, Clinton
Well,
good.
she was bringing out their good points and their bad points.
Yeah, but she wasn't. That's the thing. She was being very
Negative.
negative. Only Trump.
With
She
both
never.
of them?
Yeah, she never even did a lot of things positive for Clinton.
Oh, wait a minute. Was she negative about both of them?
No, she liked Clinton, but she never said much about Clinton, good or bad.
Well, Clinton and Trump never got together. I mean, they didn't run at the same time.
Yeah, it was the day. So she talked about a lot of them, but mainly right after Trump won, she was talking nothing bad about Trump. Everything bad about Trump. Nothing good about Clinton, other prime.
Well,
Oh,
Clinton
you
didn't
think
run.
it's Hillary Clinton.
Hillary.
Oh, you're
Not
talking Hillary
Bill
Clinton.
Clinton. I got mixed up.
No, well,
also.
she was no better than him.
I know, but like I'm just looking at this and like, shouldn't you
That's
be?
where it went screwy. There's
Yeah.
nobody to pick from.
I mean, did you hear about Pizzagate? Do you know what that is?
Pizzagate?
So get this. This is
You
so
know what?
fascinating.
The Jews are taking over the country?
What? No. What? No.
Pizza Gate?
So, okay, ever since Watergate, the Hotel Watergate, that's the name of the hotel,
Yeah.
everyone has put similar situations of political scandals with the last name Gate. I don't know why, I don't know how, but so literally, so it could be like Lampgate or something.
Oh, gate. Yeah, well, it's
People just
bad.
putting Gate.
Yeah, they're talking about illegal
Yes, so
entry.
literally they're poking.
Inflate Gate, the
So they could just say like, oh, someone stole a painting, so they call it Painting Gate or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, all right.
So whatever. So basically they called it Pizzagate. All right. So get this. A pizza parlor called Cosmic Pizza, located in New York, had child pornography saved on a computer by the store owner. All right, that's bad. They tried to arrest him. Turns out that lawyer had encrypted emails connecting to Hillary Clinton. He was aided in also the campaigning. He was one of the campaigning managers as well. So one of the pedophiles who had pedophilia on his computer was connected to the Clintons already. So that was pretty bad. Remember, before Epstein came to light, so you already know they're connected with pedophilia. But get this is where the conspiracy part comes in. A guy walks in one day into the store with a gun and shoots the computer the moment the FBI agents investigate it. This was one of the worst events of the 2016 election, because years later, by the time 2020 happened in 2019 with Epstein, it was discovered that a lot of the child pornography was linked back to Epstein, which meant that this pizza parlor guy who got it off with little kids already had a glimpse with the Clintons connected to child pedophilia. Isn't that awful?
I'm not sure I followed that whole thing, but
You have to watch
Do
it.
you get it, Dad?
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the Clintons were connected to pedophiles. And Bill...
Well, I didn't know it at the time.
I know, but it's so funny that in
But
2016...
I never liked Hillary anyway.
I know, but I just find it so,
I like him, but I didn't like her.
I don't like Clinton after the whole Epstein thing.
Well, he's a politician.
You think that... I feel
How
like
can you
they're...
like any politician?
I feel like they're all linked to pedophiles, man, at this point.
No.
You don't think so?
Oh, no. You can't take a group like that and say and put them in a group. I mean,
Yeah,
people-
you're right. It's just...
Everybody's an individual.
Everyone is having a scandal after scandal after scandal.
Well, they're digging it up. That's all they got to do.
I mean, can't they just take a break of it? I mean, I understand pedophiles are a very
You know,
serious
digging
thing.
all this stuff up goes all the way back to Washington.
Yeah, I mean, now you're saying Washington was a racist, and I'm like...
Well, he kept slaves, that's why. But
Yeah.
they weren't known as racists then.
Yes, and that's what I
Wait.
come from.
Who kept slaves? in
Washington.
Washington.
George
Oh,
Washington. No, it's just funny that, like, you know, you get all these scandals and you pick and choose who's the worst. You get you can still pick evil, even if you're picking the lesser of two evils, you're still picking evil. And
You want to go on a lecture tour?
to... Sure.
a what?
A lecture tour. But, yeah, I'm just, you know, it's shocking, like, the pizza
Well, I
thing.
think you're pretty smart on the way you're talking about the politics,
Joey,
because
some
you
shit.
know that there's good and bad about both, and some are more slanted towards the bad than the good,
Yes.
and they're on opposite sides of the street.
Yes.
You know that,
Yes. And
and they can't get together.
You know,
Yes.
isn't it true that Republicans and Democrats in Congress, whatever, used to negotiate
Yeah,
oh yeah.
successfully?
Yeah.
Why isn't
Yeah.
that happening
because they
now?
don't have the leadership anymore.
I think a
Where
lot
does
of
that
the
The
leadership
people in
starts.
Congress that they vote into the leadership have so much stuff on each other
I
that
think
anybody's afraid to say anything because they'll get thrown out of office
a lot of this
or lose their
yeah.
stature in the office.
I
They'll
think
be ostracized
Because they're bad people?
because they can't say what they really mean. They have to follow
Hmm.
the leader.
I think a lot of this went awry the moment Bush Jr. came into office. I think after 9/11, with the failed Iraq
Yeah.
invasion, I think everyone was like, first off,
Might have
it's-
started with Carter when we lost when the helicopter crashed and they were going to evacuate all those people that were prisoners there.
Carter?
Americans.
Carter,
Oh,
what?
oh, when they capped,
1979.
oh yeah, when they got those
Ayatollah
Americans,
Khomeini.
Yeah, the Shah
Yeah,
of Iran.
they made an
Remember?
Argo.
Ayatollah Khomeini. He was. the
Yeah,
guy.
he was one of them.
He was
That's where he got his start.
Yeah.
You think that's where it started? I always thought it started after Iraq because the whole fail thing and the
Iraq, no, we beat Iraq in the
Yeah,
war.
but like the false flag, like where there was never weapons of mass destruction, it was all a lie. And then I think
Well, it
then,
really wasn't a lie. There were weapons of mass destruction,
really?
but what's his name didn't have it.
Yeah, Saddam Hussein.
Hussein.
Yeah, so Iraq was not held responsible.
Yeah.
So Dave, my therapist who went to Afghanistan,
That was all propaganda by the Democrats, I think.
Republicans.
I think the Republicans.
No, it was
Republicans.
Republicans.
Cheney.
Yes.
Cheney had a lot to
Halliburton.
do with it, yeah.
So my therapist Dave thinks that we went to Iraq because of money. That a lot of
it's only
wealthy,
because of money.
a lot of
Oil money.
So literally, it's so,
That's why we went to Iraq.
and that's where
Or
a
the
lot
war probably had something to do with
and that's
it.
where a lot of people are coming in and saying that that's where it slowly started to decline between the Republicans and Democrats. Like it started with the Republicans, and now it's ending with the Democrats, or it's getting worse with the Democrats. But a lot of this, I feel, comes also from then the conspiracy of 9/11. A lot of people then started assuming, wait a minute, if we went to a country to invade, where we spent over $2 trillion in the span of 8 years,
Afghanistan?
is the whole reason we went there also something a little fishy? No, Iraq. When we went to Iraq. And a lot of people review it and discover there are a lot of strange things that happened on 9/11, such as the Pentagon with very little footage showing the plane even hitting the building. Flight 93, when a lot of FBI informants came out on TV, there's a whole documentary on it about how they said there was hardly any wreckage of Flight 93. And then you have two
They
planes
cleared it all out.
No, when they first went there, they all said that there was hardly any wreckage of the fuselage, nor did they discover that the jet fuel burned away any of the metal. It couldn't have done it. There should have been a lot of extra metal fragments, but it was
So
mainly...
what are you saying? That
I'm just saying that, like, I find it interesting that,
that someone got there earlier and cleaned it all up.
No, I'm just thinking that there was foul play on 9/11, somehow.
Well, why wasn't there the metal then?
Hmm?
Why wasn't the metal there if nobody cleaned it up?
No, when they went there to clean it up, they didn't find any metal.
That's what happened to it.
It
Yeah.
melted.
No.
So ask what happened
Wait,
to
I'm
it. Yeah, I know.
confused.
So my point is
It
that
doesn't all melt, Betsy.
yeah, of all four planes, the one that went into the Pentagon, there was
Oh, those planes.
yeah,
They may have melted.
yes. So of the four planes, the one that crashed into Shanksville, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
the wreckage of that, at least from a bunch of FBI informants,
Yeah.
said that there was hardly any wreckage, which also looked very conspicuous. Okay, maybe it all melted, but then you have the Pentagon, where there was hardly any footage. There were 32 cameras pointed at the Pentagon, and all 31 were turned off that day, except one at a gas station, which was going at one frame every 5 seconds, which just showed this random explosion coming out of a Pentagon. So, go with that. Then you have the other two planes going into the Twin Towers, and weirdly enough, sure, the South Tower collapses, alright, but the North Tower, I mean, the weight, the mass of it, this being so top up, it doesn't make sense that the rest of it all came down.
Oh, yeah.
So
because
it-
a plane hit in the middle of the building,
Yes.
and that structure was all melted. That gasoline burned at who knows what degrees.
So, yes, so what I find...
They were all fully loaded with gasoline.
Yes.
So Papa's telling you how it could collapse.
Yeah, so but what I found interesting was that the melting point of steel is 36,000 degrees. So jet fuel, the fuel they used was Atheron, the type of jet fuel. It's a type of gas that burns quickly to, I guess, get the energy through it.
Yeah.
That goes at the highest it can go before it begins to evaporate is 22,000 degrees. That's 1,400 degree difference between the melting point
But
of
it
steel.
set things on fire that burned at a higher temperature.
Yes, but
Don't
yeah.
forget, the steel probably melted at that temperature.
Yes.
So what's the difference what it was made out of? It was strong enough to melt the steel.
So yeah, but there's a lot of theories out because of Iraq that there was some form of foul play on 9/11. Like it
who
was
did it?
Oh,
like
I think-
almost planned to
There,
an
of course
extent.
it was.
You think it was planned?
9/11?
Yeah.
How else would they get two planes to go into a building?
No. What I mean is that planned as in the government had some aid
You're
in
saying our government?
the terrorists. Some
Are you saying what Bessie just asked?
Yes.
Argo?
yeah
No.
had some aid with
I don't think so.
the
That
government.
would be a most awful thing.
I know.
Yeah,
But
I
3,000 of our own
don't know.
people.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what I've researched, what I found is disturbing. It just there's so much
Maybe
evidence.
erase some doubts
It-
for you in what you read,
Mhm.
but I can't believe that anybody. Well, first of all, I didn't think they knew that it would be this bad.
Yes, what I personally believe is I think this is my view on it. I think they knew it was going to happen some way somehow.
Who's they?
The government had intelligence on it. There's a documentary I watched called A Man with Passion. It talks about Muhammad Atta, the lead man who crashed the first plane into the tower. Talks about
I
a man.
believe the Arabs planned this.
Oh, they planned it 100%. But I think that there was only 2 planes and not 4. I think the other 2, the first.
Oh, there were 3.
There were
No,
4
there
planes.
were 4.
4 planes.
One for the Pentagon, one
Yeah.
for Washington,
Yeah, and the
and
other 2
the
for
other
the
2
town.
were the buildings.
Yes, 4 planes. So I think there were only 2, not 4. I think the other 2, the Pentagon one, was a bomb because in the exact place where it exploded, on September 10th, the day before, Donald Rumsfeld went on TV and said that they misplaced $2.3 trillion in tax money. They misplaced it. The government misplaced $2.3 trillion. And in the same place that they were investigating it, the exact sector of the Pentagon, a plane hits it.
You know, you ever think about this? Why this stuff never came out in the newspapers?
Yes, it's
Because they're owned by the
the government.
people who
Yes.
own them are really owned by the government.
Yeah, so
They
I'm
get all their own way.
yes. So I'm like looking at this and I'm like, all right, so this can't be a coincidence. There's got to be some form. So I researched more into this and discovered that the crater of where the plane was supposed to hit was not even wide enough to have the front nose of the plane to go right through
Are
it.
you sure about that?
There's a
Well, they were
diameter.
going at 300 miles an hour.
The crater was too small.
The-
The crater,
Where-
the hole,
Look up
Which
on your
hole?
the
Where-
hole
in the building?
in the Pentagon.
Oh, you're talking about the Pentagon
Yes, the hole was too small.
now. The hole that was made.
From the plane was too small.
Well, when the plane hit the Pentagon, you mean it wouldn't create a large crater?
It did not create a large crater. It
Well,
created
that
a
was
very
because
small
there
one.
was 5 different wings. You know, it's a pentagon, octagon, 8 size octagon. Oh,
Yes,
it's 5 pentagon.
Hex?
How many? sides
Pentagon
is
is,
it?
I believe,
Pentagon is
Pentagon.
8.
No, I know, but
Pentagon.
pentagon
It's
is
5.
5.
5 sides.
It's 5 sides.
So it hit one of the sides where they're investigating the missing $1 trillion. Coincidentally, 36 people who are investigating it die. And also, what I
They were
find
on that plane.
yes, and then one must ask then, where were all the passengers? Let's just say that that plane never existed, or whatever, for whatever reason. Then we look at the other 40 passengers who were on that flight. I forgot, I think it was flight
Well, they
40.
all died.
But let's just say that plane never existed. Where are those 40 people?
Wait a minute. I lost you.
So, no, what I'm saying is, I don't think there was a plane that hit the Pentagon.
What hit it?
I think a bomb. I think there was a bomb planted
Well,
in the
there's
sector.
movies of a plane hitting it.
No, there's only a frame of it hitting. There's never any footage
I'm
except
looking right now.
every 5 seconds there was a frame. No, every second there was a frame, and on one of the seconds, an explosion happens. But the frames before it don't show a plane at all. So where I'm coming from is, I personally believe someone went into that area, placed a bomb down, maybe in the form of a suitcase or something, detonated it to kill the people that were investigating the missing $1 trillion.
Oh, that's possible.
And
That's one scenario.
And I think that then one must ask. Let's just say now for the other people, that were supposedly in that plane that hit the building. I think a lot of them, if you look at all the victims of that flight,
Well, they all died.
yes, but how did they die? I think they were all assassinated or drugged or something.
Well, what do you mean, after the fact?
No, before. I think that on the same day, the government went out to kill all the people that were supposed to be on that flight.
Well, then how do they dispose of the bodies
They
without
burned
anybody
them, or they
knowing?
throw them in the ocean like they did to Osama in
Joey,
2011.
Here's some pictures
What did it say?
of the plane hitting Pentagon.
See, look at that. That's not a plane hull. That's not a plane
Let me
hull.
see.
Oh, I think you need
That is
a
not.
physicist and an engineer to determine this.
Let me zoom it in.
Let me see it.
Oh, let me download it for you. See the photos.
I never saw that picture.
Well, we can get it on your iPad,
Yeah.
which is bigger. Don't want to get it. Do you want him
Well,
to
but
get it?
you,
See, look at this. Look at that.
I
That's,
see black smoke.
no,
Oh,
that
that's the hole.
that's the hull. It's just like
In the
that,
side of the well, the plane.
that's too small.
No, wait a minute.
Tony, open that door.
As the plane hit it,
Yeah.
it burst into flame.
No, not exactly. What happened was,
Well, how did all that black stuff get on the outside?
so this is what was in the 9/11 Commission. They said that the plane, the nose hit it, broke through the brick, and then right after the nose
What are you
hit
gonna
it,
do, Betsy?
Open the door because it's hot in here.
or you could just open the window.
Well, just turn it down 1 degree.
The plane that hit it.
You didn't put the air on, did you?
No, I just turned it down. Should I put on the air?
No.
Okay,
Cold air would come out.
So what ended up happening was in the 9/11 Commission, they said the nose hit it. This is what the government said. Broke the brick, and right after the first 30 feet of the plane that went through it, then the engines then smashed, causing an expulsion.
Doesn't show. It just shows the fuselage. Where the wings are set pretty far back on this airplane, right?
Yes.
So that's why you don't see any wings in it, because the plane. Well, the other strange thing is,
No, there was.
why is the top of the building still there?
Yes, and that's the other thing. It's like, what the hell? Like, why is
Look
the
at
other...
that again, Donald.
I don't have my glasses.
Look at that. I mean, like, the other top of the building still there. And look, there's someone right there. There is no way a plane caused that crater. There is not enough damage. It's just too
Look,
small.
you have a good theory.
And I, in my idea, I think the government, like, there's a documentary called 9/11. It's called Pearl Harbor and 9/11: The Similarities.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and it talks about how Roosevelt
Knew
knew
about it.
of what was going to happen, and even
9/11. He knew about Pearl Harbor.
and even there is some documents
He
that
didn't know
said,
about 9/11. He was dead.
No. Similarities. No, what I mean is the documentary compares Bush to Roosevelt, and hey, listen, they both
Yeah.
knew it was gonna come, and they talk about Roosevelt saying that they, even to an extent, believed he instigated the Japanese to do that, to cause a war for more military.
Those are pretty far fetched.
I don't know. I just found that I should show you the
Say
documentary.
these things, and they're
Yeah,
theories,
they're
nothing
theories.
more.
Yes, yeah. I'll show you the documentary. I find it really
Yeah, but
interesting.
you gotta see the proof.
Yeah, they show documents though. They show the different memos that the president gave out to his party, saying certain things, indicating that hey, listen, we want to show them that we're better than them, or that we are going to control the oil in the Pacific area. So I'll show you the documentary. It's really interesting.
Well, I think the Second World War was inevitable because
yeah.
it was a depression.
Well, that
And I think the government may have had something to do with it that provoked Japan.
yeah, and
That's all I had to do was provoke Japan.
so yeah. I just found
They could have made
yeah.
a deal on the oil. They could have made a deal on the steel.
Yeah, but they didn't.
They did.
I'll show you the doc. I think you'll like. It's an hour and a half. I'll show it to you. I can get it up on your iPad. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Just unplug it. because
Did
it's
you-
fully loaded.
Well, I mean, you can watch it later, but like.
No, unplug it, then I can watch it now.
Oh, okay.
Herb, when you were during World War II, did you all hear?
Korean War.
No,
He was in-
no, I know you were in the Korean War, but during World War II, you were younger, right? You
Yeah,
were-
I was too young.
Do
I was
you-
in my teens.
Do you remember hearing about what Germany was doing to the Jews? Do you
Oh,
remember-
yeah, all of it.
You heard about it back here in the U.S.?
Oh, sure, my father's family was involved.
Wait, you heard about it before we took America took action?
Yes,
How did
America
you feel?
never took action.
How did your family feel about that?
How do you think they felt about it?
And there was no way back then really to call them or to get in touch with them because there was
They
no.
couldn't get them out of Europe, it was too late.
So this is a 3-part series.
Were they in Lithuania?
Yeah. But Russia took it all over. And the Germans occupied Lithuania.
Russia took it over, but Germany took over.
Germany was occupying Lithuania at the time they took all the Jews out of there. As
Correct.
soon as they would occupy someplace, they got the Jews and they killed them.
And did you guys hear that they were being killed? The Jews were being murdered?
Yeah. Well, we knew, we never heard. You didn't hear from them, all of a sudden, no mail.
Did you know how they were being
And we
killed?
knew there was something going on.
Did you know?
I don't think we knew to the extent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anyone would even picture how. I mean, even everyone today is still in
Well,
awe that
Roosevelt did.
it- You think
Yeah,
Roosevelt
yeah,
knew?
He did know. There was
Yeah,
all sorts of-
Einstein went to Roosevelt
Yeah.
to
Oh.
get him to try and stop it.
Do you think we knew what to do?
Roosevelt
it
could have
too
stopped
engulfed?
it. They could have said something
Yeah,
to Germany.
They could have. They could have done something. They could have bombed the.
Or they
Even though
could have
Germany
just
was
sent-
well prepared for war,
Yeah.
and he was in war in the 40s.
Yeah.
There actually is something though that happened.